So hello everyone, welcome to episode 34 of our Aston Martin series. Now if you didn't catch the last episode on Tuesday, go back and have a look at that. Fernando Alonso finishing 7th and Pierre Gasly unfortunately finishing out of the points at my home race in Silverstone. Now on that video I was struggling with flu. Now here is a little Christmas remedy for you. If you are struggling with this flu and this cough that's going around, obviously if you're under 18 don't do this, and I'm not saying this is gospel truth by any stretch. Medical advice may vary. A hot toddy is the way to go because I had it last night and I'm feeling 100% better today. So Aston Martin Garage, we've all been on that in the factory today, getting a sense fit for this episode. And this episode takes us to the Austrian Grand Prix at Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring, 71 laps round. It's quite a short lap. Carlos Sainz holds the lap record of 1 minute 5.6 in 2020. Car attributes, top speed, acceleration and high speed cornering, very important. The expected strategy is a one stop from medium on to hards. Now, upgrade wise, little thing just to note, we did have an upgrade come through just after the last Grand Prix, and that was the suspension. Now, look at the right hand side, top speed now 5th and 11th. What we had on before, it's quite a significant upgrade. This suspension is going to stand us in really good stead for this Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. Now, as we're coming on to next season, if we just have a look at the car parts development and the research, which we'll have a look at, we've got some research going on at the moment. We have got minor regulation changes on all the parts, so we're now going to start filtering through some research for next season because, in all honesty, standings wise and constructors wise, we're doing very, very well at this moment in time, and I reckon we've got P4 on lockdown. I don't reckon we're going to manage to overturn Red Bull or Ferrari, or certainly Mercedes in third. They're the guys that we seem to be battling with on track a lot at the moment, but they have just got that upper hand, and I'm more interested in focusing on next season when there is going to be some changes at Aston Martin as well. So that's something to look forward to next season. But I'm now going to get into the race weekend, get all the practice done, and I'll see you in qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix.
The battle is surely going to rage this weekend. Welcome to the Green Hills of Austria. The Red Bull Ring hosted its first Grand Prix in 2014, and it's been spectacular ever since. The Red Bull Ring is one hungry beast of a power track. Drivers face a steep climb up to turn 3 and a fast ride downhill through wide corners and straights thereafter. There's plenty of opportunity to overtake here, especially with the help of 3 DRS zones. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Okay then, let's get to it.
You join us in Q1. Just to have a quick look at the left-hand side here, we went out early with both cars because the rain was going to come down and just get worse. Pierre Gasly set 2 or 3 laps. Fantastic work from him. P1. Fernando Alonso's in as well. Safely through. We got it right. George Russell, unfortunately, doesn't look like he got it right. A few guys got caught out by that weather. We weren't one of them, and we looked particularly quick this weekend on to Q2. We were expecting a little bit more rain in Q3, but both our guys doing pretty well at the moment. Fernando Alonso coming around the final couple of corners. Green through the first sector, green through the second. Where can Fernando Alonso get himself? Does he improve? He certainly does. That's up to P6. Pierre Gasly's next round the final few corners as he comes up to the start-finish line. Not the best first sector, but a decent couple of sector 2 and sector 3. Very good. 5th and 7th. We'll have to see where the rest of the guys finish. We'll forward it on. But hopefully we've improved. Like I said, we have got some pace this weekend, and it certainly looks like we have as we finish P5 and P7 in Q3, and we will start pretty high up the grid. I reckon we've got some serious pace this weekend. Be interesting to see what we can do. Let's have a look at the strategies. Right, so strategy-wise, nothing too different. We're going to still go on the optimal strategy as designated, medium onto hard, the one-stop strategy. We're high up, we don't need to do anything too risky. I've had a look at a couple of 2-stops. We'll assess it, of course, as we go. We've had a couple of spins and crashes already this weekend, so obviously options for a safety car. But both guys, medium onto hard, push at the start, see how far we can go. Let's get to 5 red lights. I'm feeling this could be a very good Grand Prix for us.
The crowd are ready, the cars are ready. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we're going to be looking at Pierre Gasly, the man who is starting higher up. Can he make any moves? He's only got 2 Red Bulls and a couple of Ferraris in front of him. But straight away, Pierre Gasly looking to attack Sergio Perez, who is on the hard compound of tyre, as is Carlos Sainz for the Ferrari. So both of the teams in front splitting the strategies, but Pierre Gasly straight away having a look at Sergio Perez. Meanwhile, looking further back, Fernando Alonso having a real battle with Lewis Hamilton. He's keeping the 2 Mercedes behind him. Of course, the team that we said we very much are in with a battle with for P3. Do I reckon we can overdo them? I don't think we can. I think Mercedes have had many more years of development behind them and are a proven championship winning side. We're still up and coming, but we are definitely in that battle. This new suspension upgrade has certainly done a little bit for us. So, a rundown as we look towards the end of lap 1. Charles Leclerc is in P1, followed by Carlos Sainz. Then comes Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and then Pierre Gasly in P5. So Valtteri Bottas, who's having a fantastic season at Alfa Romeo, might be someone we have a look at. He's in P6, Fernando Alonso P7, Hamilton and Russell in the 2 Mercedes are in P8 to 9, Kevin Magnussen in the Haas in P10 in the final points paying position as we come to the end of lap 1. And lap 2, Fernando Alonso into turn 1, had a look at Valtteri Bottas on the hard compounded tyre and thought, right, let's get past him and let's catch up with Pierre in front, and he does a fantastic job, makes it stick into the tight right-hander at the top of the hill. So good work there from Fernando, and our garage enjoying it. P5 and 6, my word, she's very much enjoying it. Great work from Fernando, 5th and 6th, both keeping pace with the front runners at the top. Lovely work, lap 2. Lap 3, Pierre Gasly has just made a beautiful move into turn 2. Look at that. In the inside, Sergio Perez, see you later, son. Got DRS as well to catch up with Max in front of him. Pierre Gasly on the hunt for a podium, and I'm hoping that very shortly Fernando Alonso is going to be doing something very similar. He's now got back up with Sergio Perez. He does look quicker on these medium compounded tyre, as you would expect. So Fernando Alonso is now chasing down the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. Commentary you didn't expect to be hearing on this session. Lap 8, we're going to have a little look at Fernando Alonso. He's not had the best couple of laps. He's ran wide, and then Lewis Hamilton's cut through him as well. As you can see, that's him running wide, losing a few positions there. Not ideal for Fernando. He's now down to P9. As mentioned, we are looking at some other drivers, but Fernando's had a very good season for us, so we're not jumping to any drastic conclusions. But Fernando, he's probably the one under threat at this moment in time. But Fernando now down to P9, not ideal for him whatsoever. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly hanging on to the back of Carlos Sainz, keeping Sergio Perez at bay. He's not quite as quick as the Red Bulls, it must be said, but at this moment in time, Pierre Gasly doing a nice job. But that Red Bull now of Sergio Perez really closing up to Pierre and making it hard work for him. But he's got the ERS as well, so no panic for Pierre. We may have to reassess what we do with Fernando. But Charles Leclerc is now leading from Max Verstappen, who has dropped out of DRS. Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari is now running away with it here at the Red Bull Ring. Lap 8. We bring you back on lap 9 as Pierre Gasly moves into the top 3. Carlos Sainz on the hard compounded tyre. We followed Max Verstappen through. It was simple as that. Put the Ferrari between ourselves and Sergio Perez, and now Pierre Gasly running in P3 and pretty comfortably keeping company with these front running cars, and we've enjoyed that in our garage. High fives all around. These hot toddies have got everybody feeling a bit better this weekend, but the big thing is Fernando Alonso. We go back to P9. Fernando Alonso has now been told to harvest his ERS a little bit, but push on the tyres. We're going to get that ERS battery stored back up because there has been a strategy change. Fernando Alonso is going on to a 2-stop. He's going to go medium softs. We feel that doing something a little bit different may aid us in this situation. Pierre Gasly's got P3, P4, P5. I think that's where we should be at least with Pierre Gasly in P5 this afternoon. Fernando Alonso is the man that we've got to do something a little bit different with, and that is what we plan to do. So lap 10, changes in strategy, but Pierre Gasly on an absolute stormer. You join us back on lap 27 now. There has been an update on this game where lap cars can re-overtake. Now, Lando Norris has been getting in the way massively We've got a 5-second gap from signs of Verstappen now, so the front four's now spread out a little bit. And Sergio Perez obviously with us as well. Now Sergio Perez, he's on the hard compound tyre, he's going to be on the quicker compound towards the end of the race. Pierre Gasly obviously on the medium. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Perez and Gasly's just basically been swapping positions. Fernando's in this lap, so he's been told to box. We're just awaiting Fernando to go into the pit lane. He shouldn't be too long at all. In fact, here he is into P8. Lewis Hamilton has pit in front of him. Lewis Hamilton did run wide a little bit. We've had a few cars locking up. But Fernando Alonso now comes in. His battle this afternoon really is with Lewis Hamilton. We got to within sort of 2 seconds of the 7-time world champion. Fernando Alonso is in onto another set of medium compound tyre. We can push on these. I'm not quite sure what Lewis Hamilton is on. He is on the, let's have a look, is he on the hards? He's gone onto the hards early. So now Fernando's going to come out behind him and he's going to be pushing Lewis Hamilton all the way. He's still going aggressive. Let's get on it. Now 3-second gap to Lewis Hamilton. Definitely an opportunity to be making some moves now for Fernando. But like I said, Pierre Gasly at this moment in time, 6 seconds now behind Carlos Sainz, and Verstappen has pit. But Sergio Perez has run wide as we're talking about that, and he's done exactly what Fernando did, and that's going to lose him a fair bit of time. I'm not quite sure what Lando Norris is doing, but we don't mind that, and that's now giving us a 4-second gap to Sergio Perez. What a time to do that, Sergio. Not superb at all. Lap 29. Lap 30, boxing Pierre Gasly from P2. Going to be interesting to see where he comes out. Sergio Perez, we can just see behind Lando Norris there on the right-hand side, coming down the start-finish straight. Where is Pierre Gasly going to filter out? Fernando Alonso giving it absolutely everything to catch up to Lewis Hamilton and getting that DRS. We're using all the battery we possibly can. It's a good stop from our guys. Now, where does Pierre Gasly filter out? Alexander Albon's coming down the main straight. Are we going to get out in front of these two? That would be ideal. And ideal it is. Pierre Gasly out into P6, onto standard now. Lovely work from Pierre. Comes out in front of these two into clean air. 7 seconds from Max Verstappen. Be interesting to see where we see Sergio Perez come out after his pit stop. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso now right on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and he's got all these guys in front of him to work through. So Fernando's got to make work of these. Lap 30. Lap 35, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton are battling their way through this traffic, obviously for position, so no reason for these guys to get out of the way, but Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso giving an overtaking masterclass, the pair of them here, and both of them cutting through the traffic. They're enjoying it in our garage, but he's got to make these moves. He's lapping half a second slower than his teammate Pierre Gasly, who's now comfortably in 6th position, and I think that's practically where he's going to stay. But as soon as we can get this guy dispatched in terms of Sebastian Vettel, then we can start making some moves. We're going to give the overtake to Fernando Alonso here and see if he can get round the old teammate of ours. But we have got George Russell locking up into turn 2. We'll have a look at this highlight. We can see this gaggle of cars behind. George Russell, big lock up there, and that's going to gain a couple of positions for Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso, though, still battling with Sebastian Vettel. Can't quite get past him there, but has got to get past him shortly to keep up with Lewis Hamilton. Start finish straight looks the best opportunity. Lap 36. Lap 37, double overtake. Fernando Alonso, firstly, he gets past Sebastian Vettel in the Alpine, and then what does he do? Switches to the right-hand side and thinks, right, might as well have Lewis Hamilton here as well. Gets past him into the next right-hander. Both of them dispatched. He's now harvesting the RS, but he's full attack on the tyres. This guy's mesmerised by the overtakes that he's seen from the Fernando Alonso here. But now he's on aggressive on the tyres, but he is having to harvest some RS. I'd expect Lewis Hamilton to not be too far behind in a few moments' time. But Lewis Hamilton is battling with Sebastian Vettel, so who knows? Lap 37. Lap 44, we've got a crash on circuit. Now, I haven't seen who it is. It looks like a couple of Alfa Romeos may be involved here in the Haas. And it is the Haas that smashes into the back of the Alfa Romeo. The other one manages to get through. Let's have a look at who that affects. Kevin Magnussen, it certainly does. Now, Fernando Alonso up now into P7. So there's now an Alfa Romeo between himself and Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, Alonso had got to stop again in this Grand Prix, so we're aware of that. What isn't quite interesting though, Sergio Perez has now pit onto the medium compounder tyre. 4.5 seconds behind Pierre Gasly. So Pierre Gasly's going to be in a battle right to the end with Sergio Perez. We're obviously keeping an eye on Fernando Alonso, who's got to make another stop just yet, but will be on the soft compound tyres at the end. So lap 44, all to play for both our guys. Just as I said that, lap 45, what happens? Fernando Alonso locks up. It's not been his weekend. Not been his weekend at all so far. Fernando Alonso in the dirt. And yeah, after the overtaking masterclass that we've seen this afternoon, that's quite disappointing. Our guy's pretty much in shock in Fernando's garage. He's still in P9, but 5 seconds now to Lewis Hamilton, and he's got to stop again. It's not looking promising. To be fair, Fernando could do with a safety car. Whether that benefits Gasly, I'd highly doubt it. Lap 45. And lap 50, Sergio Perez on the quicker compounded tyre. He's done his stint on the hards. Maybe this will come back to us towards the end. We've just got to stay in the DRS now and hope we can latch onto the back of Sergio Perez, make him use those tyres and see what we can do towards the end. Probably P5 is where we might end up with Pierre this weekend. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. And hopefully this DRS will just keep us in touching distance of Sergio Perez. In fact, as you can see, Pierre Gasly's thinking, I tell you what, Sergio, you're not getting past me that easy, sunshine. If you were from Yorkshire, obviously that's what Pierre would say. Obviously French, so he'll sound a little bit different to that, I presume, in the cockpit right now. But Pierre Gasly necking a right good old fist of it here with Sergio Perez. It's side by side through the final sector. Great work from Pierre, really is. And like I said, latch onto this DRS now. We're going to take the fastest lap, hopefully, with Fernando Alonso. We're hoping to do that in a minute. But Pierre, latch onto the back. Hopefully, it will come to you towards the end. Lap 51. Lap 53, just a quick one. Pierre Gasly, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We used a little bit of ERS, not too much. Obviously, staying with Sergio's DRS is helping us massively. Pierre Gasly is just sticking with Sergio Perez, having a little look. Didn't manage to overtake there, which is not ideal. And that's dropped him back nearly a second. He's going to have to use a bit of ERS again, I'd imagine, in a moment to try and save Sergio Perez. But Pierre Gasly making a real fight of it. He wants this P4. Fernando Alonso will be pitting in the next couple of laps. Lap 53. And lap 55, Fernando's in for his final pit stop. He is going onto the soft compounded tyre. He's due to come out around P14. So we'll see where he comes out. Pierre Gasly hanging onto the back of Sergio Perez, as we can see on the timing screen on the left hand side. Right, let's see. Where does Fernando come out? He's going to have to make some overtakes to get some points in this Grand Prix. Kevin Magnussen is coming down. He's actually going to... This might aid us somewhat, yeah. Fernando Alonso comes out P12. 4 seconds behind, but look who's behind. We've got Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez. I wonder if this could play into our hands a little bit. Lap 56, we'll keep a keen eye on this, where he's got a little bit of work to do to get some points this afternoon, Fernando Alonso. As you probably would expect, lap 59, Fernando Alonso, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. These Williams cars, by the way, at the back. I mean, to say, I know we were bad in season 1. We weren't this bad. They just keep spinning. Honestly, they might as well be doing synchronised swimming. They're spinning around that much. I'm not sure that if they do a lot of spinning in synchronised swimming, that's the sort of commentary you come to these videos for. But anyway, moving on swiftly. Fernando Alonso trying to catch up to Alex Albon and Sebastian Vettel. Hopefully, the Red Bull in front of us is going to drag us up there. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly still doing a fantastic job, holding on to the back of Sergio Perez. And Sergio Perez, his tyres are starting to wear. These tyres are ours, are going to be better at the end of the Grand Prix. This P4 may come to us unless there's a crash on circuit. If there's a crash on circuit and there's a safety car, we are boxing. We're going to have a little look at this crash now.
Taking a look again.
And it's the Alpine and Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeos have been in the wars this afternoon, and it's basics. That it's a little clip. Front of the Alpine, back of the Alfa Romeo. That's obviously Vettel and Albon coming together there. But Pierre Gasly still holding on to the back here. No safety cars this race still, because we would have been straight in for soft compound tyres with Pierre there. Fernando Alonso still battling through, and he's now up into P10. He has got a Red Bull behind him, but he is under he's under obligation to let him through. Is he going to do? No, he isn't. He's got to get out of the way at some point. But Fernando Alonso, at the moment, obviously feels he's got the pace, and he's using these cars to try and get back in front. There's been another competitor lock-up. There's been a lot of lock-ups this race. I'm betting it's one of the Williams. Is it one of the Williams? I don't think we're going to get a replay. No, it's Guan Yu Zhou in the AlphaTauri. So as things stand, Pierre Gasly doing a fantastic job. Fernando Alonso in P10, back in the points. That's about it for Fernando. Charles Leclerc leads from Max Verstappen. Red Bull versus Ferrari at the Red Bull Ring. This could be huge. There's been a crash. Fernando Alonso's involved. It's not Fernando, is it? No, it's the Red Bull and Ferrari colliding. What could this do for Pierre Gasly's race? Both of the cars now in front, Verstappen and Leclerc, I'm guessing that were coming together. Let's have a quick look. Gasly's still doing a fantastic job. Right, we look at Max Verstappen's car. Can't see too much damage. Charles Leclerc, similarly, can't see too much damage. We did see a little bit of debris come off in that collision. But at the moment, neither car coming into the pits. Charles Leclerc's in. No, he isn't. False alarm. And Max Verstappen pits from third. That's going to promote Sergio Perez up to third. Pierre Gasly, I'm hoping I'm going to see coming around this corner. We can. Pierre Gasly coming down the start finish straight once again, hanging onto the back of Max Verstappen, of Sergio Perez. Sorry, I'm getting all excited here. We've got yellows in sector 2, another competitors ran wide. How far is Max Verstappen going to be from Pierre Gasly? That's the key incident here. The key times. We've got 7 laps remaining, and Max Verstappen, when we get the timing screens up, he's hopefully going to be, what, about 10 seconds if we can help it, something like that. Still in the pit. This nose change taking forever. He's now back out, 17 seconds behind. P4, there is a podium shout for Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso down in P10. The race is done for Fernando. He's just got to nurse it home. But Pierre Gasly, every chance of a podium in this afternoon. Lap 64. And lap 65, we've just got absolutely shafted. And I'm going to say it's Lance Stroll. It is Lance Stroll. He absolutely shafted us. He poked it on the apex. Pierre Gasly couldn't get through. Sergio Perez has brought the DRS. That's an absolute joke. That's why we got rid of him. I'm absolutely fuming. These headphones flying. It's not good work that from Lance Stroll. He can absolutely bugger off with that, because that has just cost us a chance at a podium. What a... Not saying it.
Focus on the last 6 laps.
We bring you back lap 70. Oh my word, these Williams. These Williams are not having a good afternoon at all. Oh my word. That is unforgivable. Now, last lap, Carlos Sainz. I think we've been absolutely shafted here. We've been absolutely shafted by Lance Stroll. But also, Alexander Albon, for the last 3 or 4 laps, has been constantly contesting the position. Now, that's fine. But what's not fine is the amount of time we've lost to it. We've dropped him now because we've used some ERS, but a bike marker, he's been battling with us. Pierre Gasly, he's had a lot thrown at him in this Grand Prix. Unfortunate circumstances. There were a podium here. Make no mistake about it. There was a podium here for Pierre Gasly this afternoon. He's not got it. He's got a very respectable P4. Fair play to him for that. He's drove a very good race. The amount of incidents that's happened. Charles Leclerc crosses the line to finish P1. Carlos Sainz follows him through. But Pierre Gasly, fantastic work from him this afternoon. Gonna come on P4, clear of Max Verstappen due to that crash. There's been more crashes, as we can see. Pierre Gasly comes across the line. Fernando Alonso will cross the line. Fastest lap as well. We'll just speed it along to watch Fernando Alonso come across. But yeah, fastest lap for Fernando Alonso.
When you stop, it would be P1.
Obviously, we've got to have a look at that early doors. That when he went off the track, went wide and then had to come back on, got stuck in the dirt. Not ideal for Fernando at all. But it is what it is. We've recovered, we've got a point. We'll watch it from his point of view as he comes around that final corner and takes P10. Double points for Aston Martin at the Red Bull Ring. Let's get to the classifications.
Yeah.
And so the classification is as follows. Carlos Sainz takes the win here in Austria, followed by Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez P3, Pierre Gasly P4, Max Verstappen P5, then comes Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas again. Another strong showing in that Alfa Romeo. Esteban Ocon up 12 places into P8, George Russell P9, and Fernando Alonso down in P10. Kevin Magnussen with the wooden spoon missing out in P11. Lance Stroll, I have no words. Drivers standings wise, Pierre Gasly is up to P5. He overtakes Lewis Hamilton by a point. He's now on 102 points. This season, Sergio Perez P4, Charles Leclerc P3, Max Verstappen still leads the way though with 198 points, but the gap has closed by 15 to Carlos Sainz in second, who is now only 14 points behind the two-time world champion. Constructors wise, we gain on Mercedes. We started off this episode saying that we may struggle to catch Mercedes on that performance. Maybe that suspension upgrade was just enough to put us back in contention. Mercedes are now in P3, 168 points. We are just a small 13 points behind them. Red Bull on 326, but it is the Scuderia Ferrari who lead the way with 358 points after this round. So all that's left for me to do is thank you so much for listening, like and subscribe. And oh, by the way, have a fantastic Christmas. I hope you enjoy your Christmas day, and we'll be still Tuesday and Thursday next week as per usual. See you later.